Hello, Real Talk with Mo. Glad you could join me. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. www.cb Lifestyle Apparel is the wear. Got some new products. I'll go check them out. Especially the product might change, but the Hustle Don't shirts in black and white. Hot bestsellers. Check me out. Also, www.cb Life every day is gonna be opening soon. We'll have all your everyday needs the CB lifestyle way. Check me out, bro. So I wanted to get into something real quick. I always got topics on my mind to talk about. So I just, with especially when we talk about politics, which I know, it sounds weird, but there's a lot of people that don't really care at all about the politics, right? And the media, the politicians, they all know this, right? They know that some people that just go about their daily life, they're just too busy to be worried about, just too busy with regular life, right? Not even to say that, they're doing something spectacular. They're just living, right? People going to work, coming home, taking care of kids, enjoying some entertainment, some leisure time, right? Trying to take vacations, right? Going through a bunch of shit, changing jobs, trying to see the boy to make more money, right? Just trying to survive, for the most part. Some people are thriving. You know what I mean? There's a lot of other things going on besides politics and what laws people are passing. So politicians and media, especially, they try to take advantage of when a situation comes up that they can manipulate it a little bit to help them in their career. And I think we need to understand that better as people. You know what I mean? Like, even our everyday lives, we understand, especially when it comes down to it, and we are gonna go out and cast our vote, or we are gonna go and have these stances that we're gonna, some of the stuff that we're gonna stand for in certain situations. I think we need to really just understand, the characteristics of humans, man. And I say this every time. I know people get tired of it probably, but it's true. And this is how I understand people and how I see the world, and it helps me to understand, how to react to it. And not everything is what it seems, right? Or what people say it is, right? The media or politicians or just regular, normal everyday people, right? We're all greedy. We're all lazy. We're all vain. We're all ignorant, right? We're all selfish. We're all ambitious. So when I say that, I'm saying as far as, like, when they see a situation like that, they try to take advantage of it. They try to manipulate it, right? And it could be something good, right? It could be something bad, and it's just whatever that situation is, they're going to try to take full advantage of it and get you to pull at your heartstrings, right? Because people like, I learned in sales that, people don't buy off of logic too much. They buy off emotion. A lot of people buy off emotion, right? And if you pull those strings, you can get them to buy, right? Just like you can get them to vote for you. And that's what I think a lot of these politicians do. I hate to see it. And to be honest with you, I think mostly it's on the left side, right, of the aisle, Democrats and so forth. They like to pull at your heartstrings. And I'll tell you, the right side does it too, right? The right side does it a lot with, patriotism and America, and people, when they hear about stuff like that, they feel good, especially when there's somebody who's representing the country and all this, which I think is a good thing. Like, that's why I'm more right leaning conservative, because I think that's a good thing. The left side likes to pull at your heartstrings as far as, they want to help everybody and they want to do this, and it's like that, we are the world. I feel like it's playing every time they start talking. So they both do it. Everybody does it. Some of we could disagree or agree with it, what people do, but or why they do it, but they all do it. So especially right now with the gun control thing and everything going on, they like to pull on those heartstrings about that, right? About they're gonna bring up right now, if anybody doesn't vote for anything that's being passed that has to do with guns, then they don't love kids, right? Or they want more kids dead, or they don't care about the dead, right? It's gonna be one of those things. You can't get past it. And just like I said, they just try to pass a bill in the House, and I say this every time. People need to understand this better too before they go and make decisions. Is, like they'll want to pass a bill for gun control, right? There's been a big thing. Gun control, we're gonna pass it. They just said the House passed it, but it's not gonna pass the Senate. And then as soon as everybody in the House and the Senate that didn't vote for it, even though it was some Democrats that didn't even vote for the House bill, they're going to put you in a box that you don't care about kids. You're not. Their deaths mean nothing. You want more kids to die, right? So they're gonna hit them with that. So, and then also what you gotta understand too, which is another crazy thing, is like this bill probably had, I want to say, just throwing some crazy, 100 different amendments or different things that was on the bill, like 100 of them, right? Probably 50 of them were about guns. The other 50 were just all over the place. Adding in all sorts of shit. They throw in all sorts of stuff into these bills, and then they want you to vote for it, right? So somebody doesn't agree with like 50 of it, then you're against gun. Again, you'll be put into that box where you don't care about kids. You're not worried about the kids' safety. You don't care if they die, and so forth and so forth. So you'll be put in that box when some of the bill doesn't make sense. A lot of the other stuff doesn't make sense to you, and I think that's part of politics. And I really hate that part. I really dislike that part. Hate's a strong word. I really dislike that part of it because they can't just pass one bill at one time. They gotta push a bunch of bills into one bill, and then if you don't like some of it, you gotta vote for it anyways because you want some of it, but you can't. The rest of it you don't really care for. So I don't like that part of politics, to be honest with you. And they do it a lot. It's been going on forever. People need to understand that. My whole point is just for people to understand that. As far as the gun thing, right, I could get into a video on that too. And where I stand and what I really think about that. But I just want people to understand how people work, man. Right? How the world works. And once you understand that, you understand about these people, then you start to see through it. Like, as far as being on one side or the other, I think that's kind of, it's kind of like a play. It's kind of like you just playing the game. I think you shouldn't, really be on one side. You just agree with, some stuff that people stand for. And then when it comes to a vote, you look at the bill and then you break the bill down. But nothing. Another thing about the left is, on the right, it's about your freedoms, right? Let me be free. Let me do what I want to do, right? As long as I don't infringe on you or hurt you, just let me do what I want to do, right? However I want to pursue certain things, let me do that. As long as I'm not hurting you or infringing on your rights, let me do it. And that's the crazy part is that's what I see it as, the right or the conservative side. It's just let me go do what I'm going to do. The left wants to infringe everything on you, and they want to try to fix everything. They think they have this fix-it-all mentality where this bill will fix it. This bill will fix it, right? And if you go back, you'll see war on drugs, right? War on poverty. They think they're going to fix these things. You can't just fix these things with a bill, with legislation, right? It doesn't always work like that. Like, Civil Rights Act didn't stop people's civil rights from being infringed upon, right? At the time, right? Over time, it took time for people to start to do these things and step up, but it didn't stop racism, right? Like, you're not gonna stop racism, you're not gonna stop white supremacy, you're not gonna stop killings or murders or any of this. You can't stop it, right? And it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It just is what it is. Right? The only thing you could do is hold people accountable and keep people and make people be responsible for their actions. But that's each individual. Like, not a group, not a bunch of people you're just gonna push into a box and make them all understand this. And then if you pass this law, everything's gonna be great. They lie to you. Nancy Pelosi, these people have been in Congress for 30, 40 years. barely pass bills. Just get in front, talk. Nothing fixes nothing. Nancy Pelosi is in California. Look at her district. You know what I mean? These people have been there forever. And people get mad about that, and they always say, oh, Republicans. Listen, I don't need Republicans. If I'm a Republican, I don't need the Republicans to do shit. I don't need them to do nothing. I just need them to not infringe on my shit, right? And if that's what they're doing, great. So I don't want the Republicans to pass shit. I don't want them to pass anything. They don't need to pass anything for me. They just need to not do anything that's going to infringe on what I got to do. That's it. Don't slow me down. Don't try to do this. Don't try to build these walls to stop me. Just don't do shit. That's what I need politicians to do. And that's the difference. And people have a hard time understanding that, right? Stop pushing your shit onto me, right? If you look at almost every bill that I disagree with, it's because the left is pushing on something onto me, right? Onto the people, right? And people disagree with it. They're pushing stuff onto them. That's all it is. It's never a thing where it's like, we're going to give you less to do it, right? We're going to make it less, right? It's always pushing more shit onto me. Don't do that, right? I don't need that. I don't want that. Nobody wants that, right? And that's the big difference for me between the two parties. And that's why most of the time, like I said, but I still, you got to look at it from a middle ground. I still move to the right when it comes to certain bills and pass, because most of the time it's not infringing on me. It's something that's either taking something out or trying to give me more freedom. And that's the thing that I look for. So I just wanted to, talk about that for a minute. Like I said, man, look at stuff from the middle ground. I know everybody's got bias, so when you hear something, automatically your head goes either one way or the other. Either you think this or you think that, and it puts you into a path that's going to lead you to wherever your biases are. But you got to think about that. I think about it all the time when I hear like a headline, and I'm like, damn, who is this coming from? What is this, right? And then I'm like, does it make sense, right? If it's somebody from the left, doesn't make sense, and then half the time it doesn't, right? Like ban gun control. To me, that doesn't make sense, right? When I hear that every time, gun control doesn't make sense to me, because it's not gonna fix anything. It's not the guns; it's people that kill people. It's not guns that kill people. I don't know how that doesn't make sense to anybody, right? They're talking about access to guns. Again, it's access to people to get guns. Again, people, right? There's no way around it, and it's so hard to have a conversation with somebody when they keep saying the same thing, right? And it's like, it's just not logical to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Again, don't infringe on my rights. Let me do what I'm going to do. Let us be free. We could figure this shit out together as people, right? And day-to-day activity, we figure it out every day. That's why people are not killing people. Well, people die every day, but people are not killing people every day. We interact with each other all the time, and we're fine. It's when you start pushing these things on it that makes it friction most of the time. So I just wanted to say that, man. Y'all have a great day. CB Lifestyle Apparel is aware. Got a lot of big things coming up for the next half. Check me out.